Hey, welcome to today's video. My name is Shanny. I'm here to help you unleash your personal brand, and what that means is becoming more visible, becoming a magnetic powerhouse brand, and having client attraction strategies that actually work. So this topic is going to be a little bit controversial. By the way, the nails are gone. I am irritated AF at my hands without my gorgeous nails, but I'm sidetracking for a little bit, but I love to update the few of you that watch my videos. Like, that's a bonus. If you found my YouTube video and you actually came to watch, you might hear some insider fun, some secrets that the other people don't get, okay? All right, so I decided to work on my physique. I decided that I want a toned, a sexy ass body, and one of the ways that I'm gonna do that is to start boxing. I have no clue if I will like it. I have no clue if I can keep up with it, but of course the nails had to go for me to start doing that. And the reason that I'm trying that is because at my age, I'm 40 right now, and I don't feel like the body is bodying like before. First of all, when I was 18 up to, I want to say 25, 30, I could eat anything in the world and still stay snatched. Like, it really had no effect on my body. I've always been super skinny and slim. And then I turned 30. So when I turned 30, all of a sudden I could just look at rice and potatoes and gain weight. Like, what? So going to the gym became a process that was slower for me. Sorry, that's a phone call. That was slower for me to see results from. So all of a sudden I had to make more effort. And the typical cardio that I would do would not give me the results that I am used to seeing. Like the weightlifting, I still do it, I still love it, but I don't see results. So I'm like, okay, I need to step up the game, honey. So that's why the nails are gone. Stay tuned for some personal life updates, and I will tell you if I stuck to it with the boxing. So you never know. Okay, let's get back into the topic that I started this video about in the first place, and that is the dilemma of feeling that you're in a saturated market, okay? So today I want to talk about why there are so many coaches. I personally was irritated AF by seeing so many coaches. Now, the fun part is I'm a part of the industry now, obviously because I'm a personal branding strategist and business coach, but you see, right now I'm even feeling resistance in saying the business coach. I prefer saying a personal branding strategist because I feel like I can also help women that want to use personal branding for their corporate career. But the thing is, I also feel a resistance with the word coach or coaching because I used to get irritated AF when I go on Instagram or YouTube and see all these gurus and all these coaches, and I would spend my Saturday, and I sometimes still do this, digging into the juicy gossip videos where they expose the frauds, where they expose people that are scamming out here in these streets. But behind the scenes, I started feeling like an imposter. I started feeling like a fraud myself, and it stopped me in doing many things that could really help people, in my opinion, because I was now afraid to be in a saturated market, and I was also now afraid to not be seen as one of the scams. Now, fast forward, I started doing high ticket sales for other business coaches or other companies, I want to say 2 years ago by now. And so I could see the inside and all that's going on behind the scenes for these coaches. The first thing I want to say is there's a lot of investment that goes into an educational business, whether it is coaching on advertising, business coaches, life coaches, coaching on marketing, fitness coaches, like all of these companies that are legit. Number one, the business owner spent a lot of money getting mentoring and getting certified or getting the information of how the business model works. So that's a huge investment. The advertising budget for it is crazy. And if they're not spending high dollars on advertising, then it is spent in time, and you can calculate your own hourly rate, but it's spent then in time with organic content. And to be honest, organic content alone, if you have like goals to have a 6-figure business and beyond, is not enough. I'm just gonna be honest, it takes too long, it's not enough. So there's a huge payment and investment that you have to make in yourself in these types of businesses to get results. And if you're really taking things seriously, you're gonna need a team. So as an insider, I know that they have, for example, virtual assistants. They have salespeople like myself that take a percentage to help their business. They have a marketing team. They have an advertising agency. Those fees are crazy. Then it comes into branding themselves with photo shoots and video content and production. Like, there's a lot that they invest. So I now, as I'm part of the industry, can understand what goes on behind the scenes and why some of these coaches are so high priced. And the reality is that there's no right or wrong. So there are coaches that play the volume game where they have a low price membership, but they aim to get 1,000 people in it so that they can reach the goals of their monthly income. Or you have the coaches that do a more premium business where they sell something for $5, $10, $15, $50,000, but they only need 3, 4, 5 clients per month to achieve the goals for the business. So it's different strategies, and it's fun to see and be a part of it behind the scenes, because now I understand the industry better, and I felt like I should come on here and explain how this happens and why this happens, because I do feel that it helps someone that might be watching this, because I too felt held back because of the scamming that is going on, and also because there's so many, and I was feeling like, okay, everybody's just making money by telling other people how to make money, and they teach you things that they haven't done. But I work with the real ones, and it's not the case. So I will tell you in a couple of minutes here as well how to spot the ones that are really doing what they teach and walking the talk, and the ones that are just repurposing information that they see from other people. Okay, let's go back first, and let's backtrack to why there are so many coaching businesses and coaches out here in these internet streets. We have to understand that the generation that came when I was growing up and the generation before that, so millennials and Gen X and boomers, I think Gen X is the generation before millennials. I hope I'm saying this right, but I'm explaining people that are from my generation or older, okay? There was not as many opportunities for us to have access to opening businesses or launching brands, because the internet is something recently developing. It's still growing, but really businesses started launching on the internet back in, I want to say 2005, 6, 2007, 2008 and beyond. So when I was growing up, when I was in my 20s, it was not so accessible as it is today to start your business. So the need for coaching was not as big as it is today, because there wasn't even the option to be creative in that way. You were just taught to look for the best job. So career coaching was popular back then, and what some people are doing now used to be known as leadership consultants or executive coaches. So a part of it was already there, but careers that exist today were not an option back when we were growing up. So There was no need for so many business coaches to tell you how to pave the way or how to find your way, because you grew up learning that you finish school and you go to get a job. You climb the corporate ladder. So it's relatively new that we live in an era where anybody can access a platform for free and build a community and serve that community and create products and offerings for that community and make millions of dollars with very low investment capital, compared to the traditional times where you needed huge capital, investors, loans, and buildings and like other things that are no longer necessary to start a business. So what happens is, number one, the need for guidance increased when more people could access, because it was accessible, but the knowledge was not as accessible. So we had all of a sudden all these younger generations of people, like for me at my age to have my own business compared to the traditional way of the generation before me. I'm young being someone that has a business. Now we have 20-year-olds that are billionaires, but I mean, it's very recent that this started happening. So people flooded the entrepreneurship market, but there was no guidance on actually how to do it. Just because you have access to do something doesn't mean you know how to do it. So the people who legitimately had to find out how it works found out that it's very different compared to how the traditional businesses that have 60, 80, 100 years in existence operate. Okay, so that's why there became a need for all these creative fields that people now have access to start a business in, for someone to take the lead and find out through trial and error and lose a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of sleep to find out how it works, and now have the desire to make sure that nobody else following him or her has to go through that. So that's why you have all of these creative coaches, these marketing coaches, these business coaches, because we live in a different era. And if you look at the other side of the coin, I'm grateful for coaches, because nobody from the traditional business industry is going to take the time to come here and share openly with a public platform how to actually build a business. You hear all about the glam, you hear all about how to buy jets, how to buy the cars, how to do this, do that, but you don't get educated in the taxes, the inventory, how to lead people, how to hire people, how to fire people, like nobody, maintaining your emotions while the business is growing and going through cash flow ups and downs. Like nobody in the traditional world tells you that. So that's why there became a need for people who found the way through trial and error to teach others, because there's so many people flooding the market without the knowledge. So there became the need and also the desire to avoid other people from going through trial and error and huge losses like maybe they had to find out for themselves. The other side of it is as well that people now that you have access have the choice to learn from different personalities. So I might have gone through something to figure out a formula, and I have a way of explaining it or of expressing myself, or even down to the way that I dress myself that feels more comfortable, familiar, or relatable to you. And you might prefer to learn this from me compared to whatever business institute or whatever other existing business strategist or coach. So because there's now a liberal field online that's limitless to find people that speak to you, personal branding has become so important, because now not only do you have access to do these things that were not an option before, thanks to the internet, you now can choose how you want to learn it, and you can choose based on relatability who you want to learn it from. So my first coach that I started learning from and became a member of her programs and really dove in was Chanel and Cooper Sykes. I remember it was 2012, and I saw all these alpha male coaches. And I also remember following Les Brown because he has this amazing way of motivating you and talking on stage. But I was missing someone that was young, Black, and female that could teach me these same things, but talking in a type of language that's attractive to me. I'm not necessarily interested in being a student, with all due respect, of someone who is an older man from a completely different background or generation. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't speaking to me. And I just Googled young Black female coach with short hair. I remember I specifically Googled with short hair. And I found Chanel, and she was speaking in a way and breaking things down about mindset, confidence, marketing, social media, and all of these things in a way that I could receive it. Because now I have the choice to not learn it from some boring ass university, but to learn it from someone who went through it, talks about it, and breaks it down in a way that I can receive it. For example, now I have the choice to learn about paid Facebook advertising from L'Oreal Link. You can see my referral link for her down in my description of this video, because she breaks it down. She gives you the real talk. She uses the slang that I find funny and attractive, and she speaks to me in terms that I can understand. If someone who is experienced in advertising that's not speaking my style teaches this stuff to me, and I've been through many of these courses before, I could hear it, but it still flies by. Like, I'm not understanding and really taking the information in because I'm not relating to the teacher. So I actually, now that I have this experience and I've been behind the scenes with so many coaches, am of the opinion that we do need all of these different personalities that can explain the same thing in their own way. So if you are looking at coming to the market, you have to understand that there is a need for someone who wants to learn it specifically from someone with an experience like you have. Some people want to learn something and they believe that they can only learn it from someone who specifically also went through a weight loss journey, from someone who specifically also dealt with anxiety. They want to learn it from someone who specifically also went through a divorce. They want to learn it from someone who specifically combines the teaching with Christianity, or maybe someone who is Jewish, or maybe someone who also grew up in poverty, like whatever the story might be. And someone who I learned this from recently, again, and it was a great way to help me understand it, is Dan Coe. I mention it, I promise I'm not a paid actor. I mention him in almost all my videos because, again, here is someone who really breaks it down. And the reality is, each of us, with the internet now accessible to us, go through life differently and we learn differently. And so each of us have unique personalities and unique experiences and a unique way to discover something that's already existed. We're all actualizing the best and higher version of ourselves. And each of us, with the different background and personalities that we have, create a unique formula to get there, to achieve it. And that unique formula is your unique asset, your unique property, and it's the unique way that a lot of people will receive and appreciate to learn it. So at the end of the day, when you actualize that higher version of yourself, whether you want to or not, you are a coach, you're a life coach, you are an example for other people who want to do it in the same way that you do it, and they want to experience your unique formula of solving the problems that you solved. So One thing that Dan Coe said in one of his videos is that at the end of the day, everybody is a life coach, because everybody is inspiring someone to live and learn in a certain way. I'm saying all of this to say that if you feel the need to teach or coach, don't feel bad about it and don't hide it. Let's talk about a saturated market. When you start developing something, whether it is a line of wigs, you might want to do nails, you may have a drop shipping product, you may have a consulting business, you may be a coach, it really doesn't matter. You start your journey, you get to know your audience, you bring your personal brand into the game, and you keep evolving, right? So you create new products, you stop the line of the old collection to design something new, you might increase your prices, you might choose a new platform that you like, and so you keep evolving and you keep learning and doing new things. Every time that you evolve or increase your price or build a new product, what you used to do before becomes a free spot, quote unquote, for someone else earlier in their journey to learn and bring it in their version into the market. So let's say right now I'm doing personal branding strategy, and maybe 2 years from now I don't want to work with people anymore. I only want to have an online course that people can download. The spot of working with people in someone who's like a similar personality or target market that I have became available because I'm no longer occupying that audience. I'm now occupying the space of downloadable materials. And then when I decide that I no longer want to do that because I designed an app and I'm no longer going to offer a course, that level of service or product becomes available for the next one that would appeal to a similar audience. So there's always movement and abundance going around. So that means that there's never going to be too many of the same thing, because you might look at someone and feel like they're saturating the market or you are too late coming in, but they are also evolving and moving. So they might be thinking to do something different behind the scenes because they are ready for a next level, but you don't know that. So here you are hiding yourself and deciding not to do something while that other person is not even worried about your market and your audience and your unique formula that you can bring to the table. So I just wanted to talk about the different side of this so that you can understand that there's not too many coaches, there's not too many fashion lines, there's not too many drop shipping products. If you bring something unique to it and you attract a unique audience to it. If you are just out here regurgitating information, copying what's out there and doing antics to reproduce and copy someone else, that's when you're saturating the market, because you're not doing anything unique. Not even your personality is unique, right? So that's how you stand out, and that's why the personal branding is so key and why I keep talking about it, because by focusing on that, you are already creating something unique to the table, okay? Or bringing something unique to the table. So really briefly, I want to talk about things to look out for when there are coaches that you're considering, seeing that there's so many of these on the market. The first thing you want to look for is congruency. Congruency means if someone is telling you to invest in yourself, you need to see evidence that they have invested in themselves. So I have, for example, right now I'm not even offering it, but I do have some premium services and programs that I developed for people that want to work with me. Right now they're not even open. But before I created that, I have spent thousands on mentorship, certification, learning, skills, like all of these things. The highest program that I paid for was $10,000. It was a huge stretch for me because I live in the Caribbean. Our currency is not US dollars, so it's almost double for me compared to the local money that I made. And I still did it. I still invested in myself. I did another program that was about $8,000, all about branding yourself. I did a sales training that was amazing, that was about $6,000 to $7,000 as well. So actually $6,000, I believe, or $7,000, something like that. I did another one with Uncle G that was, I think, $1,000, $2,000 back then. I've done so many life coaches. I had a life coach that helped me with my mindset, that I was paying about $4,000 a month or $1,000 per session. Like, I think if I put all this money on paper that I spent, I would like literally scare myself. But that gives me the confidence to, when I choose to offer something that's a premium price, to really believe that I can deliver. And even then, I sometimes have to dig deep to find that belief back, right? But congruency is a sign to look for, so that you know that someone is a real coach or strategist or a scammer. Testimonials is another one to look for. If you can't find real people that they are working with or have worked with before, that's another red flag. Negativity or creating videos to hate on other people so that you come to them. So don't do theirs, do mine. These people are bad, I am good. That's another red flag. That's a scammer type of red flag right there. When it comes to coaching, not being active or in the market too long, but already having sky-high pricing gives me also a red flag, because how can you bring results if I'm like your first client, but you're already charging me? It's okay to start. We all start from somewhere, but then start at a lower price point so that you lower the risk for someone coming in. And then as you build proof, you increase your price, right? So if someone just started out and they already have a huge investment program, then it's like, okay, wait a minute, I wouldn't recommend that. So that's a red flag. What else? Overdoing it on the celebrity names to speed up their credibility. So I remember someone that I chose to not work with had all these clips of a very known influencer edited into all his videos to promote his program, and I could see that it was edited in a way to look like they work together so that he could say like he knows this celebrity, but I could see that it's edited to look that way. So he was overdoing it on the celebrity credibility relationships. That's a red flag. Or people that have way too many celebrity brands or known influencers that you could see that they're obviously trying to skip the line and pay these people to build up their credibility instead of doing the actual work to build credibility based on results. So that's another red flag that I've seen. Antics. So things to rush attention and get your money. All these YouTube commercials that have the stop scrolling, stop, don't exercise, you should never exercise, and then they clickbait you to watch the video, and then it's something controversial just to tell you that they have a program. Irritate my soul. That's a red flag right there. If your content helps people, then be patient. Eventually they will find you. You don't need to do all these antics to like stop scrolling and oh my god and all this flashy editing. Like, you don't need to do that. Your value is enough, so calm down. You know what I'm saying? Or the clickbait titles that they do sometimes, like $1 million morning routine, 30 days to $1 million, here's how, here's my $650 million nighttime routine. Like when they start throwing those amounts that you can do in 20 days, 2 weeks, 30 days, like all of these things is a red flag for me as well. So hopefully me explaining why so many coaches are emerging and why it's needed, what to look for when you want to be careful to not fall into a scam, and also why you can feel safe to bring what you have to offer to the market. Like hopefully this topic and these examples have helped you today to either feel safe with someone that you're considering working with, sorry, I'm looking at too many screens, working with, or feel safe to share your value with the world, because we need it, okay? Whether it is a product, a service, a coaching, an idea, we need it. So bring it, okay? Bring all of it. All right, everybody, hope you enjoyed the video today. Remember to check all my resources in the description below this video. And if you're watching this video before June 10th and you are in Curacao, get your tickets to join me and Sutini for the personal branding and content tour, where we will dive much deeper in things that I've been talking about in this video and my previous video about personal branding as well. I will see you in the next one. Bye, honey.